I find. Even though I think this one was written more through like a heartbreak point in my life. So I think the sadness in the script was coming from that kind of point of view.
I didn't hear those to be a session.
Last minute thing. Colin decided. All the ladies love Colin, you know? Always did.
Yeah, that's not true.
I assume you want to make features.
I do now.
And would the plan be to write a script or get a script from somewhere else? Or?
I would want to write it. It's so much easier for me to visualize how I would want to shoot something and how I would want to tell a story if I know exactly where it came from. And I know exactly why each line exists. And I mean,
me too, actually.
Yeah, I'm preaching to the converted. That comes through in what you make, I think. It's just such a sincere reason for everything existing the way it does. And I think there's a subtlety also. I loved how Banshees was shot. I loved.
Thank you.
It was gorgeous, it was expansive, you feel like you're getting a cinematic escape. It's really about the acting, it's really about the story, it's about the weight of it all, and it's not, I love a trick shot, it's fun, when you put a camera in a ceiling fan or whatever, but like this is a different story that's told, I think, in a very pure way, and I thought the restraint that you showed was actually one of the most beautiful parts of it.
Thank you. I finally found some restraint. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I mean,
It is a quiet film, I think. It's a quiet... That's why I've been kind of surprised that it's going over so well. But I thought, it's a quiet, sad one. It's not the Marvel DC universe, I guess. Quiet, contemplative...
It is not. It is not the same kind of film. But I think, yes, it's a sad film in one way. But there's a lot of, beautiful humanity in it.
I hope so, yeah.
That's very warm.
And a beautiful donkey.
Such a beautiful donkey. There's an incredible donkey in this film.
I love casting
Little Jenny or something?
Jenny, yeah. Jenny in real life and Jenny in the story. Dreamboat, little Jenny.
Jenny, just play yourself. Just keep doing what you're doing, Jenny.
She was a little diva, actually.
Really?
She is quite, of all the cast.
I've heard that about asses. There were a lot of animals in this.
Yeah.
There are horses, there are donkeys, there's
a
dogs,
dog,
there's an amazing dog.
Yeah.
So directing animals, is that something that you had a lot of experience with before, or?
Not really. I've had rabbits, as you mentioned, in Six Shooter.
That's a harrowing rabbit cameo.
Yeah, oh yeah. There was some rabbits in Seven Psychopaths, I think. They survived. But I love having them around on set. And Colin Farrell says, he quotes the old adage of you shouldn't work with children and animals, but he loves it, and I love it too, because they're just like innocent little, like everyone in the crew just loves being around them, especially Jenny, like little dreamboat.
Yeah.
Like I watch the film now, I'm just looking at the animals. I don't care what Colin and Brendan are doing.
The devastating scene where I'm not going to give any spoilers, but when Colin comes home to find something devastating has happened, there's a horse. Doesn't the horse
reacts,
sort of?
Yeah.
The horse kind of is like, look over there.
Yeah.
There's something over there you should see.
Totally.
And
yeah. And then goes and sniffs, and it's as if the horse knows the story. I feel like.
Yeah.
And that horse, weirdly, because the horse was so good in some of the early scenes, I kept adding more and more for the horse to do. The morning of that shoot of that moment, we didn't have the horse in it, but I thought it would be so wonderful to have those innocent eyes on that moment too. And I think that the horse makes that
I think
shot,
so too.
Really.
That scene, I think, is one of the most powerful scenes. Colin Farrell is just incredible in this, and it's the moment where everyone in the theater was kind of audibly weeping near me.
Yeah, I always hoped that would happen. He's so brilliant in that moment, so raw and broken, I guess. And sad, which reminds me of Sadie's moment in your video.
Yes.
And just for me, for Colin, there was no direction to be given that morning, because I knew he would find the place, and my job was to get out of the way. Maybe, have him do it an extra time or two, but try and just leave it up to him. Is that how you work with Sadie on?
With Sadie, she is so incredible and so good. That it was a very similar thing where I had a few conversations with her about how she likes to work in those kind of intense emotive scenes. And I think she does a lot of prep work on her own, but she also had this song that she says always makes her cry, which is Savior Complex by Phoebe Bridgers.
Brilliant song.
Which your partner actually directed the video for.
Yeah, Phoebe did. The two Phoebes.
So there's another tie. But we ended up, playing that song on set, giving Sadie the room for a while. There was also we wanted her to look like she'd been crying, and the kind of body heave of that. There was screaming into pillows and stuff, and some of that we did together and some of that was just her on her own. But we wanted to give her a lot of space in the room, So
you and her would clear the room, scream into pillows together. Really?
And then she would do that on her own and do body work to make herself. You'll notice that her skin, you can see just the redness of, it's someone who's been crying for a while. It's that just excruciating, heaving, sobbing pain. She's an incredible actress. She has been doing this since she was a little kid. So I think she has her processes, but it was, there was a music element to it, which I think is just like a beautiful thing when music can touch someone in that way.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Colin, I know, has earphones in. There was another scene on the cart where he's sort of tearful. I never know what they're playing though, and I never want to pry if it's like voices or songs or what the hell that is.
Is it until you say action, or is there?
Yeah, and then it's leave him to call action for those moments.
Oh, that's amazing.
He'll take them out, have another thought or two, and then just say yes to first AD, and I think that's a nice way to allow them to have
That's
all
beautiful.
control. Has being an actress in movies changed how you direct?
Every aspect of my job as a singer, I've occasionally been in a film for very short periods of time, has affected the way that I would, that I am as a director. I think I really want someone to feel comfortable. If they want to be able to look at the monitor or they want to be able to know how it's set up and how it looks, then they should be able to. If they don't want to see it, they shouldn't have to. I think it's helpful when people know what story it is they're telling. I've been a part of things where you didn't know the script and no one knew what the story was, and you just know your little part of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I think it's important to let someone in on, this is why you're doing this, and this is how it fits into a bigger story, and this is, yes, this is your puzzle piece, but this is what the puzzle looks like.
Yeah.
I imagine you're
That's a
very
given.
honest and frank about that, but it's not always the case. I like to be secretive about projects I'm making, whether it's a music video or the short, we were so top secret about it, but the people who, you have to trust the people that you're making something with to let them know this is exactly why this matters.
Yeah, and they're part of the whole team.
Yeah, I don't think I would have that experience if I hadn't been on everything from, you learn that from like commercial shoots or a film or a music video that I early on wasn't directing or hadn't written or whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just, you have to cast people you trust and then trust them, I think.
Exactly. That's all directors should do that, and not all of them do. One of my favorite actresses is Laura Dern, and I hear you might be working with her or have just worked with her.
Yeah, so I worked with her on a twist on a Cinderella story because the album's called Midnights, and I wanted to play into the main fairy tale that deals with the hour of midnight when the clock strikes 12. I wanted there to be a scene in the beginning where my stepmother, and working with her was absolutely incredible. She's one of these people who is just as wonderful off screen as she is on, and I'd heard that about her. If you love someone's work, but you hear they're really like either like sadistic or bad to people or just like or hate doing it. Some people like hate acting.
Yeah.
Even though they're really good at it.
Yeah.
So I'm not like wanting. I don't need it.
Yeah. Same here.
So I've heard that Laura Dern is like loves it, is passionate about it, is doing it for the right reasons, lovely person, and is also brilliant. So I wanted to work with her. I reached out to her and she came to set, and it was just like the most wonderful time, and I feel like I want to know her forever.
Wow.
No, because I only direct myself in music videos where I know exactly what shots I want to get. For a music video, I literally shot list every single shot.
Wow.
Because it's so much easier. I edit on set when I do music videos too. I didn't edit on set when I did the short film. But for a music video, when you have it shot listed, you can just knock it out. You only have like 2 days to get it done.
Right.
So I'd rather just hit that, slot it in for a
So
video.
there's like not even 2 or 3 takes. It's like, or is it?
If we get it for a music video, if we get it done in 1 take, I move on.
Wow.
But that's not how I approach the short film, and that
course.
would not be how I would approach doing a feature film. Every time I sit down with someone like you who's making work that I adore, that I respect, it's educational for me to learn how people work and how they make things that I think are. I mean, I think this is one of the best films I've ever seen.
Oh my God, really?
I do.
Thank you, Taylor.
I've been talking about it for weeks.
Thank you.
I think I relate to the most Powerick. I think my friends, they'll be like calm because they're like, I realize that idle time is affecting my art. Do you think that it kind of plays into the myth of art and suffering and how they have to exist side by side?
I think that character sort of taps into that or thinks that. I completely disagree with it. I mean, you have to write something and be completely on their side with that point of view.
Totally.
I
Well, it's a valid point of view, and so many people really, really believe that.
Yeah, but then there can be a lot of bullshit about it too. So I don't believe that you have to be like, my sets are like happy places.
Yeah.
And I'm a really happy person.
You are a happy person, and you write really
Dark
poignant,
shit,
sad
yeah.
stuff.
Poignant, sad, just dark shit.
You're like, yeah. I think it's really interesting, the idea of channeling something very dark and sad and somber and about grief and all these difficult things, but having like a lovely, great time doing it.
Yeah.
It's really strange because I don't think that anybody would imagine, you guys telling this story, or even on the short film, like me and Dylan and Sadie telling a story about just life-altering heartbreak, but on set we're just like, oh, this is so fun. That take was amazing.
Exactly. That's the funny thing about it. Like Colin and Brendan had a chat at the start. Do we need to keep space between each other? Do we need to enact it in real life? And they both were so happy that they both agreed that no, they're just going to have fun and act it.
It's just like that part is a myth, that you have to suffer to make good art about suffering, or that you have to suffer in order to make art in general. Like, yes, it is a cathartic thing, but oftentimes I think that writing about your pain or your suffering, it sort of gets out the poison.
Yeah, it helps.
It does.
Yeah, because as I said, this script was written in a sort of place of sadness and heartbreak. But even the evening of having finished those few pages is like, that's pretty good stuff about my heartbreak and suffering, which is great to be able to have that. And I'm not sure if that's an age thing or what it is. Like, do you feel like your songwriting is different, even if you're talking about a heartbreak song? Are you different in that writing now as opposed to how you were when you were 22?
Yes, I definitely feel more free to create now. And I'm making more albums at a more rapid pace than I ever did before, because I think the more art you create, hopefully the less pressure you put on yourself. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. If you keep making stuff, you just keep making stuff, and hopefully you get better at it. It doesn't have to be so, you don't have to belabor it and polish the doorknob so long that you forget to open the door.
Because I haven't really done that, but I like the idea. I used to do that when I was writing plays. Like bang out another one and another one. And there's less pressure that way, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's just a phase I'm in right now. I might be in a different phase in 2 months. I have no idea. It's just recently I've found that the more things I make, and the happier I am.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. And there are people who put an album out every 5 years, and it's brilliant, and that's the way that they work. And I have full respect for that, but I am happier when I'm making things more often. So
do you carve out time every day to be productive in that way?
No, it kind of pushes through without asking permission. We were talking about like involuntary ideas, like when you were saying, oh, and then it surprised me when he went into the pub and he didn't have a finger. I have songs come to me like that. I have, ideas for a story I would want to tell come through like that. And
do lyrics and tunes come at the same time?
Yeah.
Do you have to be strumming or?
No. Sometimes it's a fragment of a melody that is that has a lyric on it already. Sometimes it's just a line and I'll write it down and I'll use it later. Sometimes it's a melody that I have to go to the piano and then record and remember it. But it's the more that I'm writing, the more those ideas come.
So even
That's
on a
what I
day
found.
like this, when you've got lots of stuff to do like this, in the afternoon something could come through.
Totally, yeah.
Wow.
It's only been like that for me for the past 6 or 7 years, so that's why I say I think it comes with age.
Yeah.
But I don't really know why I've been making more things recently, but I'm just trying not to question it because I kind of like it. I want it to keep going. And there's a part of writing I think that we don't understand.
Yeah, completely.
So I don't want to jinx it by being like, this is all me. I'm just writing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm just going with it.
Talking of which, Midnight's
Yes.
a new record. They call them records, albums?
Yes, we respond to both.
I hear you're you have directed, you're going to direct like 11 videos for is that true?
The videos for this one are really fun because I wanted to do different things than I did with the short. I wanted to kind of, I have this scene in a video for a song called Antihero where I have my future funeral of if I were to have kids and those kids were to be terrible, fighting over.
It's hilarious.
Thank you. We wanted to shoot it in like a very different style than I've shot things in the past because I just ultimately, I want to tell the story in a way that's interesting for people, but I also want to learn and I want to kind of experiment with how to shoot scenes. And
Yeah, there's a great puking scene in that.
thank you so much.
I love
I
a
worked
lot.
so hard on that. It's
I might steal that.
throwing up on myself.
Yeah, but it's blue, isn't it? The
It's
puke?
blue, yeah. The blue glitter in that video was a metaphor for, like, at one point I bleed blue glitter. It's supposed to be midnight blue glitter, and then at one point I'm opening it. I cut through an egg, and it's glitter, and so it's supposed to be a metaphor for like, I bleed glitter. I'm not normal. There's something wrong with me. I'm not a person. I don't belong. I don't fit in anywhere.
Cool.
So yeah,
Do you storyboard?
yeah, I do.
Because when I've written a script, I think I haven't really thought about it in visual terms until I then storyboard it myself, and I go through every single scene. And the storyboards I'll talk through with the DP, hopefully months and months before, and the production designer, which is what we did on this.
Wow.
Because lots of the storyboards had shots through doorways to see the island. You don't just find a house on the island, you build a house in the perfect place to see the perfect vista. Similar with the pub.
The pub that you built.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So we
blew my mind that was something you built. It looked like it'd been there forever.
Right, yeah, and it's pretty weird yellow, but we just found the most scenic road, cliff road, which had vistas and mountains, each going each direction, and just built it and literally kind of angled it so through the doorway you would see the most of that scenery.
I was actually sort of sad that you had built it. I was happy for the production design and the feat of engineering and imagination that it was, but I wanted to go there.
To that pub.
I was like, want to go to there.
Colin
And I
Farrell
can't.
drove past it like 3 weeks later with his son, and it's gone now.
Oh,
It's just
I was
an
afraid
empty
you
lot.
were going to say that.
Yeah, maybe they could build it. Maybe if the film goes really, really well, people will visit.
I'd
and
like to float
prompt-
that idea. I'll go.
Because we literally had to take away Porrick's house, which we built, overlooking the island too. Because it was filmed on Inishmore, and it's a place of kind of natural beauty and heritage. So you have to take everything away and leave it exactly as it was.
Which is
before.
good.
Which is good.
It's good.
Which is good. Although a lot of the locals were saying, this would be a great little extra tourist attraction to have.
Was this an island that you had kind of thought about and thought, oh, it's there that we're going to do it? Did you have an overall idea of where you wanted to be?
Well, I'd written 2 plays which are sort of set on the Aran Islands, one in each, and in my head, this is a vague end of that trilogy of island plays.
That's so cool.
So I kind of wanted to shoot there, and we did on Inishmore, which is off the Galway coast, which is like from my parents' house, just outside of Galway. You can see those islands where we filmed.
Wow.
So every weekend off after shooting, I would just go back and see mum and dad and hang out. And I first went there when I was 7 years old to Inishmore, the biggest of the Aran Islands.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, so it's always had a part in my sort of Irish history, but it's where playwrights and poets have gone for like a century or more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just to study, because they say it has retained a lot of the old world Irish heritage and charm, and it does feel that way, but it also feels quite a spiritual place to be.
It comes across that way in the film.
But we also shot up on Achill Island, which is much more mountainous. It's where Column's house looks over that crescent beach. I wondered at one point whether or not it would work to have two very different island types and have it seamlessly seem like one. And I think it works. But also it feels like...
So it was two different islands?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It absolutely works.
Good.
I was completely fooled. I mean, the island and the sort of the remoteness of it and the claustrophobia of the beauty meeting the remoteness of it is, I think, it's a plot, it's a character, it's a theme. It's kind of what lends itself to this feeling more like a fable.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
It's not a normal movie.
Good, yes, that's what we're going for.
It's a fable.
It is. The idea of like a breakup on a place where you have to see the person every single day.
That's the claustrophobia
it's
of
horrible,
it.
Yeah.
These amazing roads that you would have to pass someone on, you know, there's no escaping it. You have breakups nowadays where people just ghost each other, and it's almost like that person never existed. You'll never see them again. It's like, I think that this is such an amazing, timeless way to confront the idea of a breakup that you would have to confront. You would have to see this person.
Everyone's,
there's no secrets on this island. Everyone's talking about everything. And I feel like your characters in this, they are compelled to confess and to say everything they feel, except on certain occasions where Pádraig's sister clearly is keeping inside how trapped she's feeling. There are cases of that, but I love that everyone's gossiping, everyone's saying things, and the one time that Colm really respects Pádraig is like when he is finally honest.
When he's drunk, I guess.
Yeah.
And
like,
angry and...
he's like, stop being fake nice. The tyranny of like politeness.
I like the line he has where, I guess we've all had in breakups, he says, maybe you were never nice. And we've all had that, like, maybe I was in love with the wrong... my projection of you instead of you. Oh, that's sad.
No, it's so good though. This is why I keep talking to everyone I know about this film, because we keep thinking of new things that it made us conjure up.
So what's next for you? Is it just Midnights and all of that?
Yeah, it's all that. I'm just gonna keep on making music. I haven't toured in, I think 2018 was the last time I toured.
Is it that long?
It's been that long. So I want to go and sing the songs to people who sing them back to me. It's like a whole thing.
I'll come.
Please do. Please do. That would be great. You and Phoebe can come, and
Yay.
it'll be a blast. How did we do?
Perfect.
Wow.
All
God,
right.
we're good.